that's not
That's not a
always an
collaborator.
effective way to do it with a customer.
I talked about that too.
But yeah,
Just
I
about
mean,
the skill set you have on the team, and if there's any interest in
Yeah.
building assessment around some of that, and making that a process.
In putting it in a statement of work or putting it out there where somebody might see it, I'd like to concentrate on developing sales skills and not negotiation skills, because
Okay.
the default when
Sales
somebody sees negotiation skills, they think of cutting the price. And they think they're negotiating. So they're not really negotiating, they're compromising and offering a concession. And
I'd like to know more about that.
that's how
Personally, I
salespeople
think
think that they negotiate. Versus going in and saying, okay, you want to do it, a pilot program, you want to do it for 30 days? I'm kind of curious. What are you looking for when it comes to sampling our product? What are you looking for when doing that? They say, well, we want to see if it sticks to, the sensors, and we want to see how the patients act and stuff. Well, how long do you think it will be able to take for you to know if we do a better job than what you're using right now?
Right.
And in reality, 1 day.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, what is your anticipated
It's funny you went that
expense?
route, because that's exactly the series of questions that one needs to ask to get them to do that. It's
So-
like, what are you expecting to learn in 30 days that
Yeah.
you can't learn in a week?
One day. One day, you'll know.
Well,
if
one
the
day they
sensors
might
fit.
not have a particular case that
Well,
day.
I mean,
so-
if they're changing them 3-4 times a day, they know in 1 day they're not changing them. That's how long. So when you're really upfront and you're assertive without being aggressive, and you have a softening approach to it, say, I'm really kind of curious. Thanks for inviting me in. I'm really glad that you're interested in looking at our products. I'm kind of curious. What are you hoping that we're going to do? Different, better for you. Oh, we'd really like the sensors to stick. Okay, how long do you think it'll take for you to know that?
Here, take this one home here for the next 2 days.
I mean, really?
Tell me if it came off.
Don't use the word negotiate.
Right, but that's in the form of a negotiating, because you're kind of handling an objective, but at
Yeah.
the same time you're really finding
interrelated.
out what's most valuable. What do you want? What is your goal? Because I want to be able to give you what you want, because I can't get what I want unless you get what you want.
That's true.
That's the foundation of negotiations.
That is true.
But when you mask it with sales, now salespeople are a little bit more comfortable with it, because it almost creates a cognitive dissonance when you teach a salesperson to negotiate. Now, I teach a 2-day negotiation class for real estate agents to negotiate with buyers and sellers on selling their home, and then getting into transactions when we're negotiating purchase agreements. So there, every time there's a purchase agreement and there's a blank line, now you have an item that's negotiable. Purchase order doesn't have any blank lines. It's you're
Correct.
buying it
Yeah.
for this price and these terms.
Yep.
And we might negotiate on the terms, but we're going to look for something else in exchange for that, so that we're not offering a concession.
Got it. I got to go.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
All right.
So,
We can continue to talk if you'd like.
Thank
yeah,
you.
I have a,
Okay. Thank you.
Good to meet
It's
you.
really great to meet you. I enjoyed our conversation. Safe travels home, and enjoy our fine
Yeah.
Colorado weather
you
while
didn't
you're
want
here.
your
Beautiful.
trip still?
9 then. See ya.
See you, bud. You're around this afternoon, right?
I am.
Okay. This is a new process for me,
Mhm.
and part of my role. So, when Joe paused there about the statement of works, I don't, but that's okay. I'm just looking for a timeline. I put a purchase rec in to bill Phil's budget,
Yeah.
as Chris says.
Yeah.
But billable hours, the scope of the project, I think I might be a little too soon on completing a purchase order. I just wanted
Okay.
to understand how it works in other organizations, or when you've done this before.
Okay.
Do you need a PO cut now, or do you wait until
I-
you've
I-
decided on the hours, or?
I'd like to look at the statement of work and
Okay.
and to really be clear on what your desired outcome is.
Well, that is something I think you and I need to
Yeah,
put
so
together.
let's work on that
Okay.
together.
Okay, very good.
And then once that's agreed upon, and Chris looks at it, and Joel looks at it, and Phil looks at it, going,
Okay.
I really feel like if we concentrate on these areas, this is going to be beneficial for our sales
Okay.
department. And then we
Okay.
can figure out, the budget
Okay.
with that.
Yeah, I just started a scope, just a very brief one,
Mhm.
kind of in a format we use here at Nonin.
Mhm.
I'm not going to make it overly complicated.
Okay.
But I think really dropping in the meat and potatoes of your assessment, what you're going to do, timeline and milestones, and just dropping it in here is a great start.
I think those too. I think
Yeah.
you got a process, and I think that there's probably some normal terms or verbiage that
Yeah.
you'd use in anything.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be as detailed as possible on my inclusions.
Yeah.
So that we can, be really focused.
And I dropped your inclusions in here, but
Yeah.
I think you probably learned more from Joe today than what we were here a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Joe's our cowboy.
I learned a lot. I'm not gonna share what I learned right now, but
no, we're sworn to secrecy on some of that stuff. But yeah, I'll go through and I'll learn from my organization what kind of terms and conditions we do. And I don't know if you want to meet over the phone or just kind of patch it together on email. I think we could.
Well, let's do the
And so do your assessment, come back to me, I'll drop it in, and in the meantime, in the next couple days, I'll try to fine tune the terms.
So my assessment is going to be, adding on to the 15.
Okay.
So we're on the same page with that?
Right, but do you, the project deliverables, if there's anything outside of the scope,
if you've got that.
Do you want me to send you a template?
Yeah, that would be helpful, and then I can start to be more prepared as to the format that you want me to follow.
Okay.
Is basically.
Okay, I'll do that.
I know what I'm going to go after, and the areas that I'm going to focus on, and then you tell me what format you want to have it in.
Right. I've seen some of our contracts or these statement of works are more product related.
Okay.
So we don't really have a perfect template. So that's all product related. That's not going to help me. And then we have another one with West Inside Revenue Generating Service that we're working with right now. But that is more of a really formalized contract with ROIs, and this is the sales quotas you're going to meet. And I think it's a little too meat and potatoes. So I'm kind of going cowboy on my own and just doing my own assessment.
Yeah. Here's what I'd like to do at the end, if it's 4 to 6 weeks of getting this all completed, is getting into each of the inclusions and sharing in detail what I learned, what I discovered, maybe some areas to reconsider or consider, some recommendations within each of the areas.
Okay.
And some things might be just perfectly fine too.
Right.
And fine, I was just kind of, we didn't have the right information at the time, and here's what's really happening.
Okay. Now, you don't have to probably go out and meet with Joe's team yet, do you?
Where is his team? Is it scattered throughout the country?
Scattered throughout the country.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just asking. I don't know what you've done with other clients.
I'd rather talk to him on the phone. I think we can do that, and
work
probably
through Joe to do that.
Yeah,
okay.
And probably have more than one conversation.
Okay.
And I'm kind of envisioning how this is coming together. As I talk to one person, I might hear something, and then it might trigger a past conversation I had with somebody else. I might come back and have another conversation going, I heard this from so and so. Is this something that you're experiencing too, or how do you handle that, or and really kind of cross pollinate some of the salespeople or some of the people that I talk to be able to add maybe qualify or discover some background conversations that are going on.
Yeah.
There's some conversations going on with the sales team that Joe doesn't hear about.
Sure.
There's some conversations with Joe and his salespeople that Chris doesn't know about.
So you can kind of hone in and figure out where we need to tackle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for a timeline thing, and again, I apologize for this week, I will work on cleaning up this template because it's a new one I've not used before, and getting that over to you, kind of what the expectations are, and then maybe you do your assessment. Maybe we touch base next week. I'm going on a spring break at the end of March, but I think the timeline for this project is 4 to 6 weeks even to get this done. Is that where you're kind of?
I can get started before you leave at the end of the month.
Okay, good.
And while you're gone, I'd like to start.
Yeah, absolutely.
And 4 to 6 weeks is probably about the amount of time that it's going to take to get everything completed.
Yeah.
Based on other people's schedules and other time putting together documentation.
And then this will get tweaked as we discover.
Yeah.
As you do your path of discovery. Okay.
Yeah, and there.
Do you have my cell phone number?
It's on your card.
Oh, I don't know that it is.
Really?
Yeah, because I just switched over to a corporate cell phone.
Oh, okay.
Because it was easier. I was carrying 2 phones around.
You go by Andrea or Andrea?
Andrea. Chris calls me Andrea and everybody teases him.
Okay. Because I heard him say Andrea. I'm going, no, it's really Andrea.
Yeah, Chris is the only one that calls me Andrea. Or he calls me Rogue, or he calls me Richter. I just never know. Depends
any relation to Sam Richter?
Nope. My Richters are all Wisconsin. What's Sam Richter?
He's a local guy, St. Louis Park. He's a speaker.
Oh.
So I'm a member of the National Speaker Association, so I see him often at the meetings. but I can type it in, your sale. You left it on my voicemail too, but. what's your-
612
612
267
267
9827.
9827. Bam, got it in there. So today, I'll get this, well, today's Wednesday. I'll work on getting this to you before Monday.
Okay. And
Is that-
in the meantime, yeah, I will try to clean up the template and
Okay.
go cowboy
But,
myself.
yeah, if you could just email me over what you have, and I know that it's not final.
Okay.
That'll give me a little bit more.
Do you need that this week or by Monday?
Monday's fine.
Okay, good, because I'll probably do it this week.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
Did we
good.
cover everything that you wanted to?
Yeah, I'm just kind of here facilitating and getting
Okay.
information and, you know,
Okay.
so yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
I mean,
good.
Joe, I would be really,
Excuse me, Phil. Good to see you. Just met with Joe, and I'll walk out.
Okay, yeah.
And had a good chat.
Okay, good.
So we're going to continue with our stuff, and I'm working with Andrea and getting a list of things that we're going to concentrate on. So this was
Okay.
very helpful,
Yeah, good.
and I think we're going to be able to cover a lot. So,
Okay,
but
great.
yeah, let me know if there's anything I can do, and
Mhm.
I'll connect with Andrea and Chris and Joe and keep moving
Yeah.
forward.
Okay,
Yeah?
good, good.
Okay, all right, thanks.
what's the background of your profession? What cover should we put?
Good to see you.
See you, buddy.
All right, great week. Thanks.
Be in touch.
All right.